David is America's third party member. See how it says America's third party underneath David John Sponheim? You can go to americasthirdparty.com and find out what he's all about. Yeah, that's true, Ramunda. Yes, I was reading about the history of Thanksgiving earlier, and I was telling people, I was reading about it yesterday, and then I was telling people about it tonight, and how people, the Europeans were celebrating, having a Thanksgiving for basically slaughtering the Native Americans. It's very sad.
Yeah, it was a big Thanksgiving Day. It went on for weeks because they were so happy they slaughtered 700 Indians. This is a real eye-opener for a lot of people who've been raised with a traditional Pilgrim Indian meeting place. So I was always told in fourth grade that the Indians brought all the maize, the corn, and they came together with everybody. And yeah, I made enough oyster stuffing for the next 2 weeks. So, sorry, go ahead. I'll come back during my time. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're uncontrollable. I'm uncontrollable.
Well, yeah, pilgrims did die. Yeah, there was a whole series.
I didn't say pilgrims did not die. Pilgrims died as well. Both of them died. Well, yes, I mean, but before the Indians gave them corn or the companion plants to plant together, so some natives or some Europeans came, and then they had sickness with them, and then the natives got sick, and many of them died. And then when they went back to Europe, and when they came back from Europe, then there was an Indian Squanto who helped them plant things, but then there was a lot of natives died. Not just from smallpox, but from other diseases as well. What? Okay, I don't smack David. I would never do that. Read up. Your answer was too slow, Sarah. Ooh, I was scrolling all the way up. I can't do that again. Facts? It was second generation Pilgrims' fathers' kids who killed Indians. Yes, it wasn't the first generation. It was later on down the road. Part of it, Meow TV2, sometimes. You watch Dances with Wolves. It's not really a documentary, but it is an interesting thing. Well, and some of the hatchet to the heads were the Pilgrims that did that to the natives as well. I mean, there was warring on both sides. And then a lot of the natives were shipped to Europe, which I didn't realize. A lot of them were shipped to Europe to be slaves over there. Oh, like it was the first ones that landed? Okay. Yes. To win one of the wars, one of the many wars they fought, Hero Zero, they gave blankets with smallpox and killed 78% of the population. But that was just one of the wars that they did. You have holiday weed? Interesting. Well, it's because Kevin Costner is really an actor, and he can play all those different parts. Yes, that's true. 6040. There's a really good video on the History channel, history.com, that talks about the natives, or the people, the Europeans coming to America. There you go. What would you like me to say, 849? I mean, I just am talking about summing it up very small. I mean, there is a lot more to it, like the missing colony at Roanoke. And really, it's students should be researching it themselves. Yes, orange chocolate. I need to go do that since dinner I haven't, but yes. Some people try to hide history, but really, I mean, people should be able to, shouldn't need to learn how to research a lot of history themselves. Well, both Volker, both the Sponheim, David's family ancestors and Lars's ancestors both lived on the same farmlands, and that's the farmland was Sponheim, and so that's how the name originated. They're not blood relations, though, but they both do have the same name, and they both families descended from the same farm. Thank you, Kelly. Why should we dissolve our history if it's intended to bring families together and promote thanks? I think that we should, I think there's a difference between family traditions and family culture, and everybody has a different tradition and culture for celebrating Thanksgiving and other holidays as well. But when it comes to history, is it good to just promote the idea that, the natives and the pilgrims all got together and lived in peace and harmony, when it's not the truth?
Yeah, we don't want to promote lies, do we? Wow. Isn't that a nice compliment? Wow, that's a great compliment.
Thank you, 604.
Thank you, 604. That's nice of him to say that to you. Her.
You don't like apples in your stuffing. David didn't put any apples in the stuffing today, but he did put oysters.
I did put oysters in the stuffing, and I'm not going to ask it to be an impression because it's my personal thing. I don't think I'm going to do oyster stuffing next year. I'm going to do probably a traditional sausage apple. I just found that Mr. Microphone makes me feel like I'm talking to my audience.
Thanks for. I know this microphone is not plugged in, but it makes me look more sophisticated.
That's right. Yeah. The end is near, and so we face the final curtain.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, it's a grip I work at regularly. I have a daily exercise plan.
I think in order to combat racism, it's about everyone learning to accept each other, and accept the differences about each other.
That's right.
Learning to appreciate each other and the differences in each other.
It's
all about building relationships on a one-on-one basis, which will then build relationships on a bigger basis.
Yeah, I think very sure.
We didn't eat any Norwegian food today, but we both